Hello YouTube, and here we are with the battle report of past Wednesdays. Warhammer Underworlds casual gathering that we always do in the Outpost Antwerp. And I called it Don't Use Dark Elf Dice for Wood Elves for a reason, which you will read about or listen about below. With two tournaments lined up in the near future, namely the half of May and half of June, I actually used this casual game night to play some more with the warband that will contest the next one I attend. Initially, it was planned to use them for Ekeren in the 19th, the 16th of June, but the 19th of May, the local Warhammer store is running an event, so Skate's Wild Hunt will be fighting it out there, and I've got something totally different lined up for Into the Under Ekeren. But more on that plan once the run-up to the tournament in Ekeren begins, and I'll hope to once or twice play them at least in casual before. So let's focus on tonight's game time. And the first game would be against Peter with Zandara's Gravebreakers, a warband I don't know too much about, and which I underestimated big time, as this will be shown during the game in the Rivals format. Both me and Peter played our warbands deck, so no shenanigans. Peter immediately started out longboarding the battlefield, so I guess that will be galloping to the other side again. The Wild Hunt started fast as usual, with Sheok immediately taking down Toila for some fast glory points, and allowing me to put a rapid fire upgrade on Alfian. But in the next activation, the zombie came back in his inspired state after being exhumed by his fellow dead laborers. Zandara had taken one wound from my archer, and Skate saw an opening, charging him with his shield slash attack, an upgrade I bought from that early glory as well, ready to take the Necromancer lady out, but he missed hugely, and began what would lead to the title of today's post. In retaliation for messing up her hair, Zandara herself put Sheok down. So the first round ended with a Wild Hunt a 4-2 behind. At the start of the second round, and the now inspired Scaife saw an opportunity to hold back some glory points, and charged the two uninspired zombies to take down with his sighting attack. If you put them both out, Peter would either be spending a lot of activations to raise them again, or give a figure advantage to the Wild Hunt, and so the hero heroically kicked up dust and holes in the air, leaving the two zombies stare in amazement, unscathed. Hence, as I said, the title. That's a lot of dice rolled by Scaife and nothing hit. Furlane joins the battle against the Centaur, and overwhelmed now, Skate falls himself instead to a flurry of furry paws and eldritch blasts from the inspired lovers. How different it all could have been if either Skate had succeeded his rush on Zandara or his skiting on the minions, but now all was as good as lost. Because round 2 ended with an 8-3 lead for the Gravebreakers, and I barely had anything scoreable in hand. All I could hope for during the third round was to do as much damage as possible as soon as possible, and if I got lucky on the objective draws, claw my way back a little. Spoiler, I did neither. Starting with Legain, pouncing onto Zandara. While the kitty was taken down, luckily an upgrade on her that made her a level 3 caster started to damage her. How bad is the day going that in order to wound the enemy he has to roll crits in his casting rolls, as my attacks were going nowhere. Carphaean came into the fray in the desperate times, and he finally manages to land a hit on the enemy leader, duly taking her down. Way too little and far too late, but it was a bit of a mental revenge. The Wild Hunt starts retreating, knowing the day is lost, but Verlaine gives chase on the Hornblower. A defense roll finally went successful, and at least someone survived from being attacked. But it was not to be, and a 10-5 loss was my part. I admit having underestimated the warband, unaware of the amount of healing the lovers actually share between them. And with this lesson learned the very hard way, I know that whatever I face him again, it will be Zandora Alpha Strike on the menu as a battle plan. So, yeah, that didn't went well, but I sat down for a second game in which I hopefully can redeem myself a bit, and I was against the other Peter with his Cabix Plague Pack running the Voidcurse Thralls. Again, both, firsts for me. Again, the boards were put lengthways, so time for another crazy dash, and Carphaean again being forced at the back and probably not taking much part in the game as a result. The Wild Hunt began with a combined strike of Legain and Sheok against Puxlix, and they dispatched a minion for some early glory. Scaife made the long charge, thanks to a +2 move upgrade I gave him with that first glory point, and he wounds Rabidius Skinch, driving him back onto the objective hex. This allowed for Alphaean to finish him off on an objective token, scoring the ritual kill objective as a bonus. However, Alphaean was void cursed as a result, and wouldn't have any attacks anymore in the whole game, as she only has a range 3 shooting attack, and my upgrade deck don't feature something on range 1 or 2. But a decent start for the Wild Hunt, and I took a 3-1 lead after the first round, having already done as many wounds as I did in the whole first game against Zondara. At the start of the second round though, retaliation is coming as Legane is smacked down, so the one time that I inspired the kitten, he immediately dies. The Void Curse starts to affect more fighters as he also boosts his leader, Skabik. The big Plague Monk comes forth, putting himself onto the objective nearby. And as Scathe, however, boosted by Colonel's Might that Carfane casts on him, charges off into the distance, and his 3 damage now sighting effect takes down Ichit, who has been wounding my warriors with his Book of Woe, but it misses the other minion Ricket. Sheok in the meantime is taken down by Skabik, with Ricket having run from the centaur in a sphere and lent his support to his leader. As a result, the score at the end of the second turn is 8-3 in favor of the Wild Hunt, so this is going better. In the final turn, Peter puts down a domain that gives more movement to all Void Curse trolls, a fate that has also befallen Scathe in the meantime. Cartane puts down the Song of Swiftness, so with his move of 10 now, he has 5 basic, a +2 from the upgrade, +2 from the domain, and +1 from the song. Scathe charges across the whole field to engage Skabik. He fails to take him down, and as the Plague Monk spends then 3 rounds on him to no avail, Peter just kept rolling misses. I barely had to defend actually. So yeah, it seems that the dice finally turned, or were heated up. Cartane and Alphaean retreated both onto the objectives in my territory to score the Purifying Rites objective, and they took no further part in the game as a result. Meaning that the game ended in an 11-3 victory for the Kernati, as Peter couldn't take down Scathe, and as such was stuck in his cards being unscorable. Otherwise he would have scored quite a heap of points, together with the glory for taking him down, and it might have been something completely different. So for this casual game night, it meant that we are 1 up, 1 down, so that's an okay result, and having faced 2 new warbands and a rivals deck that I hadn't encountered before. So that's a heap of lessons taken in, and as I'm not sure, I might make it next week's gathering some additional mileage to learn to pilot them for the upcoming event in the local Warhammer store. But that's it for this week. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you back with the next battle report. Bye bye!